Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, October 25th, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Lauren Jones of the St. Vincent's Grammar School came out on top in the 2018 Lions Club South Flow National Secondary School's public speaking competition last night. 6 students took part in last night's finals, with Kenesha Costello of the St. Joseph's Convent Mariacourt taking second place and Fitzzaria Morgan of the Bishop's College, Kingstown, seizing the 3rd position. The finalists presented on the topic, "The politics of decriminalizing marijuana far outweighs the medicinal and economic benefits, yet the silence of our churches." Finalists also presented an impromptu speech, which was won by the representative of the Georgetown Secondary School. Speaking before the start of the competition, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Deborah Charles, said public speaking activities are known to improve the literacy of students who compete. She said such competitions have assisted many persons who now perform well in their chosen careers.
Other winners have gone on to do exceptionally well in their pursuits over the years, those here and those who now live abroad. We understand, therefore, that public speaking aids in the personal development of all of our people who participate in such competitions. Tonight, 6 of you will speak on a topic which I struggle to comprehend. But I hope that as the students speak, you would help me to understand a little better what this topic is all about. Students, I consider each of you winners.
Here is a sample of the presentations from the top 2 overall performers as they presented their prepared speech.
In another vein, almost daily in this country, persons are being charged for marijuana possession and intent to supply. When these perpetrators are locked away, law-abiding citizens are saddled with the financial burden of taking care of them while they bask in our all-inclusive penitentiary. Chairperson, this amounts to a complete waste of government resources. As insignificant as this may seem to some, it is a huge burden of which
acts are draconian marijuana laws to take a person down a path of rehabilitation and counseling and not incarceration. There is much to be gained economically from the decriminalization of marijuana. However, the greatest gain does not have a monetary value, for we cannot put a price tag on compassion for the young persons whose life prospects may go up in smoke, all for a stick of ganja. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow students, thank you.
Katie Nero of the Georgetown Secondary School took top honors in the impromptu speech category. Here's a highlight of his presentation on the topic, Vincentians.
I'm up here now talking about a topic which I'm fighting for, and our Prime Minister does that. He goes against things, and not only that, he always comes in clutch. He always supports our country, and he never gives up. My Vincentians, they are well-deserved people, but they can be negative also. If you're ugly, a Vincentian will simply declare that. You're ugly. If you're funny, a Vincentian will simply declare that. But not only that, these people are, well, as we call it, commerce people as well. If a person has a disease or they do something bad, they will other Vincentians wouldn't talk about you. Well, I'm sure when I messed up in my main speech, people were down there talking and saying, "That Georgetown boy, I watch him dotish." I certainly believe that Vincentians are positive, kind, and funny people, although they have their negative traits. I thank you.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines is considered a cash-dependent society, and the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, through a financial exhibition, is trying to encourage the use of digital services among Vincentians. Credit unions such as GECO, the Police Cooperative Credit Union, and banks such as RBTT and the St. Vincent Cooperative Bank all took part in the exhibition, which was mounted at Heritage Square to highlight the digital services they provide. Speaking this morning with SVG-TV News, the local representative of the ECCB, Elrita Miguel, said the exhibition was part of activities to mark Financial Information Month, which is observed in October. She said it is hoped that the exhibition will encourage Vincentians to get out of the line and instead get online.
Hope that would come out of this year's event, because as I said earlier, we are focusing on the digital environment. We are hoping that persons would become more aware of what the products and services that are available, because we know here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines we are very cash intensive. A lot of people would go to their financial institution and take cash and go to spend cash, but we are trying to get people accustomed and aware of the offerings. We have ATM machines, we have debit cards, so we want people to start using the online digital services available so that we can, lessen the amount of cash that we use. So that's the focus for this year.
Some of the institutions which took part in the exhibition took the time to highlight the digital services they provide. They also give some tips on how Vincentians can keep their digital information secure.
Into town, instead of coming in the bank and lining up, you can get the service from anywhere, anytime, 24/7.
There were customers who was afraid to even use the ATM card. Now today, you have thousands of persons doing it, and I think as we progress, everybody will come on board. Do our best to protect customers' information against, different. There's confidentiality. We put things in place in terms of, scams. We try to comply as much as possible with all the various agencies out there that we have to do. We follow all guidelines and try our best to protect customers' personal information and things like that.
Is secure for our own purposes as well as for the identity of persons who make contributions, because we don't want your personal information to be all over and anybody can access it. So we actually have those in place to ensure that your information and data is secure.
Always be alert and observe your environment and surrounding when using an ATM. And especially when you are there, do not allow a person to follow you inside of an ATM machine, especially if it's that only one ATM machine is there. And make sure that you cover your PIN.
Inmates from the 2 prisons in SVG who have developed a skill in craft have been given the opportunity to showcase their work at the Everything Vincy Plus Expo. The inmates at the exposition are those who have served most of their time and should soon be out. It is part of the prison rehabilitation project, which is being coordinated by Vanya Rudet. Rudet said that having the inmates interact with the public is necessary at this stage, as the issue of stigma and negative behaviors toward inmates and former inmates need to be addressed.
We want to show that the majority of prisoners are intent on redesigning their lives, on reworking their life, on changing their life. And once they're given the skills and the encouragement, and the public play a very important role in that encouragement, once they're given that, they have every 100% chance of turning their lives around and not coming back into prison. Because the rate of reoffending is quite high, and we're finding that with the rehabilitation programs, those guys that have gone through that, they're much less likely to reoffend, and that way you reduce the prison population as well as the overall crime rate.
Exhibits include craft made from lavender grass. Proceeds from sale will go towards their reintegration on release.
An emphasis on training and training of trainers. So there's an emphasis on teaching, sharing knowledge, as well as income generation. So the proceeds from the sales, 80% go to the inmates, and divided amongst them, so they can help their families, they can provide their own a little bit of income for themselves, so it takes the burden off the family when they're in prison, as well as they are able to save some money, so when they come out they have a little amount of funds to set up with.
Andy Patterson from Layu and Israel Thomas from Union spoke with SVG-TV News. They said they are looking forward to starting over their lives when they are out of prison and plan to put the skills learned to good use.
Well, I'm doing for this 2 years. 2 years? Yeah. Okay. And I'm so important to this. Yeah. I also work in a bakery. So I see in my hands to do this. So I say, I love this. So I want to do this. So I get in, I ask him how to plat. So I show him how to plat. So and start to let me in. So I start to get work. Start to do and plat and sew everything. I would love to see them come and come more when you do other things. When you come out in the prison, they will get for do what you learn in prison. So come out and do the same thing. It's more better for them. Yeah, more than for walk and go all about and thing. First time I'm doing this is in prison. Kind of glad for that opportunity. The only bad thing is that I have to come to prison to learn it. You know, but it's a great skill. I like doing it.
Okay, how long you're in prison now?
Well, I've been in for 9 months now.
What was the offense?
Possession of ganja.
Okay.
To teach some of the children in my community, you know. So because this is help keeping the culture alive, so it's a good thing.
Vincentians flocked to the Everything Vincy Expo for the past 2 days, and today was no different. SVG-TV News spoke to those visiting the booths today, and they shared their impressions of this year's exposition.
I think it's something that is very lovely. It is a way of exposing Vincentian talent and what they can do. And by doing this, we can have market because people come in here today and see what this is all about. In the future, you can have somewhere where you can export your stuff to, knowing that it's locally made. I'm very impressed of what I'm seeing here today.
Everything is set up good and the tables are lovely. Clothes, everything I love what I'm seeing here. From the neck and the seasoning, pictures, wedding dress, all of them are looking good. I didn't plan to come here, but I hear it on the streets. I decided to take a little food.
Well, I just see bunks and castle, and yesterday I hear boys saying when the rain was coming, so I believe that. So now I go here, I believe it.
It's a good thing. Well, I'm St. Lucian, I'm not Vincentian, so it's a first-time experience for me. The drinks, not bad. I think diabetics could do well with the lemon and ginger, tangerine flavor.
So you like what you see here?
Yes, it's a good thing, and they should continue it.
It is very, impressive. You know, you have a lot of local stuff. Surprising, I don't know so many things can go on the table. Take so many things and do your own decoration and so on. So it's a very, very impressive. It's very impressive.
I think it nice, but the only thing that I think they should have it more like when tourist season. That will be, that will get better sale, and even all year round. I think they should have it all year round, not just for this independent season alone, all year round. Okay. And I appreciate it very good much. I like the craft with the grass. The craft with the grass up there from the prisoner. They're really lovely, I like them.
Today's theme is fashion and food. Food has been on sale throughout the day and the fashion show runs until 8 p.m. A new local taxi association was launched today. It's the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Professional Taxi Association, which aims to enhance the services offered to visitors. President of the association, Arrington Bergin, said they hope to change the way in which taxi services operate in SVG, offering a 24-hour service and with professional drivers.
We work hand in hand that if you lived in one part of the island and somebody is to get picked up closer to where you're living, that person will do the job and not, I'm leaving from Billette to go to Camden Park to pick up somebody when there's a member of my association is at Camden Park. We want to work where we could serve the public, that person can call us out and get the proper information because we know there's a lot of pending danger about, but for us to go forward, we have to work and to understand. Out there in the international world, you could get a taxi any time of the night. Here, our nightlife, sometime by 8, 10 o'clock, we're basically off the road with any sort of transportation. We are looking to change that in terms of moving forward as an association.
Minister of Tourism Cecil Mackey, speaking at the launch, said that such an association is needed and will add to the transportation services available. He challenged the drivers to always bear in mind that customer service is important as it will yield long-term benefits.
That you're coming at the right time when you're going to have more cruise calls. The capacity itself, if those 274 ships come with full capacity, that'll be close to 400,000 passengers and crew to the destination. Last year we were stretched to the limit in terms of providing the service, the agents and the taxis, and I'm happy that you are now on board, all 39 of you, to provide that additional service so that we can continue to make the case for St. Vincent as one of the leaders in terms of a tourism destination in the region.
The new Taxi Association has partnered with the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union and Century Insurance Limited. Meanwhile, Sergeant Kenny Jones, representing the Traffic Department, told the drivers that they must always be professional, whether they're in uniform or not, and should adhere to the traffic laws.
Expected that while you're on the road as taxi drivers that you comply with all the traffic rules and regulations. You know, from time to time that we come into contact with the traffic officer. From time to time, maybe asked to move from a particular area because we know our streets could be very busy at times. And we know our streets are very small, and the moment you stop somewhere that is narrow, right, it causes a big obstruction, it causes a long backup of traffic. So from time to time, we come into contact with the traffic officer, and he might ask you to move or make a block per se.
The Taxi Association will be offering free drops to persons attending the Independence Parade on Saturday. Air Canada Rouge has recommenced flights to the Argyle International Airport starting today. The airline service at the AIA will be every Thursday all year round. The seasonal flights are expected to commence from December. Minister of Tourism Cecil Mackey said his ministry has great expectations of the flights, which is a boost to SVG's tourism sector.
The Sunday, the 16th of December, they would offer a second flight up to close to the end of April next year. So you'd have 2 flights from December to April, and then they would go back to 1 flight. And they have made that decision because for the first 6 months of their operation, from December to April last year, they would have flown over 90% capacity. I think it was 91% capacity. Now, for an airline going into a destination for the first time, that is remarkable. And we would have established a threshold with them in terms of if they fall lower than that threshold for the capacity that they bring, we'll have to tap up. The capacity was, the threshold was exceeded by almost 3 times.
Acting Commissioner of Police Colin John has highlighted the importance of a good relationship between the police and public in order to fight crime and improve the quality of life for everyone. In his independence message, the Commissioner noted that the police and the public share the same goal, which is to reduce crime. Hence, the public and the police must work in partnership in order to achieve this goal. He said with the cooperation of the public, the police was able to effect 7 arrests out of the last 8 homicides, make 21 arrests involving illegal guns, and undertake 279 drug arrests. Additionally, the Commissioner said that the police, in collaboration with the Financial Intelligence Unit, confiscated and/or seized over 700,000 EC dollars through the law courts over the last year. He listed some of the complementary crime fighting and crime prevention initiatives at the community level, including the Drug Abuse Resistant Education, the DARE program, Pen Against Crime, neighborhood watch groups, and the police youth clubs in various communities. The commissioner said that the first duty of the police is to protect others, and in doing so, often expose themselves to risk. However, he gave the assurance that the police is a dedicated group of professionals who are willing to do whatever it takes to serve the citizens and keep them safe. He is therefore encouraging the public to get involved by reporting suspicious circumstances, crime in progress, and by cooperating with officers in their investigations. Cuban nationals residing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines commemorated the 150th anniversary of the start of wars for Cuban independence last Friday at the Cuban embassy. The event, in which Venezuelan nationals and several Vincentians also participated, heard from Ambassador Vilma Reyes Valdespino how the Cuban culture and nation emerged to become an inseparable concept. Ambassador Valdespino explained that the road to independence has not been easy, and even today, Cuba continues to struggle against international interference.
Our diplomatic officials at the UN, with the support of many friendly countries and individuals, frustrated a blatant attempt to accuse Cuba of human rights violations, which aimed at trying to justify the application of the economic, commercial, and financial blockade against Cuba by the United States, and to divert the attention of the world public opinion of the vote of the Cuban resolution against the blockade on October 34th.
Local activist Renwick Rose read the declaration of the Association of Friendship between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Cuba and took the opportunity to draw parallels of the fight for independence here. He noted that on October 21, 1935, the poor and oppressed people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines were among the first within the Caribbean to rise up against colonialism and oppression.
Those days we had what you call estate slavery, etc. And that rebellion, even though it was put down because they sent for British troops from Grenada, following that there were uprisings in St. Kitts, in Trinidad and Tobago, in Guyana, in Jamaica, in Barbados, throughout the entire Caribbean, in Jamaica. So it was an indication of the people of the region have always been struggling against this oppression.